Greetings! Mandatory79 here, and welcome back to another deck profile video for Cardfight Vanguard Deer Days! Alrighty then, let's get started. Pressing the A button now. Loading game. And now here we are on the main menu, heading over to edit deck menu. Here we are on the edit deck menu. And now for today's video, the deck profile I'm going to be making one for is Lyrical Monasterio's Archangel of Twin Wings Alestiel D-LBT01 Black Wings. Then let's get started. So first, create new deck. Here we are now selecting the nation, Lyrical Monasterio. Here we are. And like I just mentioned before, the deck profile I'm going to be building one for today's video is Lyrical Monasterio's Archangel of Twin Wings Alestiel, with cards only available up until D-LBT01. So, okay, let's get started. So applying filter settings, pack, only show cards available up until D-LBT01, Lyrical Melody, apply filter, and now let's get started. So first off, the grade 3 lineup. For the grade 3s, we have right deck, grade 3, Archangel of Twin Wings Alestiel. Her skills are, first skill, auto, as a Vanguard. At the beginning of your main phase, choose a card from your bind zone and put it into your hand. And you have put a card, bind the top of card of your deck on your deck face up. Second skill, White Wings, continuous, Vanguard. During your turn, this unit gets plus 5,000 power and plus 1 critical. And third skill, continuous, Black Wings, as a Vanguard. During your turn, all of your opponent's units gets minus 5,000 power. White Wings is active when your bind only has odd grades, and Black Wings only has even grades. So for Alestiel, she's the main grade 3 to ride in this deck. Her skills, either the Black Wing skill or White Wing skills, which is activated when you have either odd grades or only even grades in your bind zone. So at the beginning of each main phase, Alestiel will let you replace a card in your bind zone with the top card of your deck. And depending on what card is supposed to put in the bind zone, either White Wings or Black Wings is activated. White Wings, which focuses on empowering your Vanguard with more power and critical, and the Black Wings, which focus on reducing your opponent's power, making it easier to land attacks. So for Alestiel, we're playing 4 of her and putting 1 the right deck. Next up, the grade 3, Incessant Vocal Alkel. Her skills are, first skill, auto, as a rear guard. When your Vanguard is placed, bind this unit. If the cost been paid, draw a card. And second skill, auto, when this card is bound, your cards, White Wings and Black Wings, are both active until the end of your opponent's next turn. So for Alkel, she's a powerful supporting card for the Alestiel deck. Her first skill, just by riding a Vanguard while she's on the rear guard, you'll be able to bind her and draw a card, which works with her for second skill. When she is bound, both White Wings and Black Wings is active until the end of your opponent's next turn. So you'll be able to use Alestiel and any other Black Wing and White Wing card in your deck for the whole of the turn. So for Alkel, we're playing 4 of her. And now for the grade 2 lineup. For the grade 2s of this deck, we have the grade 2s of this deck is here. Right deck, grade 2, Shining as is, Alestiel. Her skills are, first skill, auto. When this unit is placed in the Vanguard circle, choose a card from your bind zone and put it on the bottom of your deck. And if you put a card, bind the top card of your deck face up. And the second skill, action as Vanguard, White Wings, once per turn, counterblast 1. If the cost been paid, this unit gets plus 1 critical until the end of the turn. And second skill, continuous, Black Wings, as a Vanguard. During the battle this unit attacked, your opponent cannot call trigger units from hand to Guardian Circle. White Wings is active when your bind zone only has odd grades, and Black Wings when it only has even grades. So for Alestiel, she's the main grade 2 to ride in this deck. Just by riding her, you'll be able to bind the top card of the deck and activate either White Wings or Black Wings. White Wings, which is to increase your Vanguard's critical, and Black Wings to restrict your opponent's guard from preventing him from using trigger units. So for Alestiel, we're playing 1 of her, putting in the right deck. Next up, the grade 2, Fleeting Longing, Farewell. Her skill is Auto, Black Wings. When this unit is placed on the rearguard circle, Soul Blast 3. If the cost has been paid, choose one of your opponent's units for every 2 of your rearguards of even grades, and they get minus 5,000 power until the end of the turn. Then your opponent puts all of their rearguards of 0 or less power onto the bottom of their deck in any order. You cannot choose the same unit twice. So for Bushiroad, she's a powerful Black Wings unit for the Alestiel deck. Just by calling her, and if you're willing to pay the Soul Blast of 3 for every, then you can choose one of your opponent's units for every 2 rearguards with even grades. Like for example, their Vanguard or Rearguard, then reduce that unit's power. And if a Rearguard was chosen by the skill, if its power dropped to 0 or less, it's returned to the deck. So Bushiroad is a good way to not only weaken your opponent's unit's power, making it easier for your attacks to make through, but to also reduce your opponent's rearguards by bumping down their power to 0 or less. So for Bushiroad, we're playing 4 of her. Next up, what other grade 2s? Let's see. The grade 2, Heavenly Recital, Emile. Her skill is Auto, Black Wings. As a rear guard, at the end of the battle, this unit attacks while boosted. Choose a card from your soul or rear guard, and you may return it to your hand. If you chose from your soul, put this unit into your soul. So for Emile's Black Wing skill, it's a good way to choose any card from your soul or rear guard and add it to your hand, thus increasing your hand size to defend with later on. And if a card was taken out from your soul, you can put Emile in the soul instead, thus preserving your Soul Blast for later on. So for Emile, we're playing 4 of her. Next up, the grade 2, Advanced Stroke, Shadiel. Her skill is, first skill, action as a rear guard, counterblast 1 and put this unit into your soul. If the cost has been paid, draw a card, choose up to 1 card from your buy zone, and it gets grade +1 until the end of the turn. And second skill, continuous, Black Wings as a rear guard. This unit cannot be chosen by your opponent's card effects and cannot be attacked by your opponent's rear guards. So for Shadiel, she's a powerful supporting unit for the Alestiel decks. Her first skill, just by paying counterblast and moving her from your rear guard to the soul, not only can you draw a card, but a card in your bind zone gets +1 crit, +1 grade. So it's a good way to manipulate the specific grade in your bind zone to activate either White Wing or Black Wing. And her second skill, as long as Black Wing is active, she more or less has a pseudo resist ability that protects her from being retired or targeted by skills, but also protects her from rear guard attacks, making her almost invincible and easy to preserve her in your rear guard. So for Shadiel, we're playing 4 of her. Okay, next up, the grade 2, Flight to the Yonder, Sheluel. Her skill is Auto, Black Wing as a rear guard. When this unit attacks, counterblast 1. If the cost has been paid, soul charge 1. Choose one of your opponent's rear guards, and that unit cannot stand during the next stand phase. So for Sheluel, she's another powerful Black Wing unit for the Alestiel deck. Just by attacking and paying her cost, you can stop one opponent's rear guard from restanding, thus reducing the number of attacks or reducing the power of the next attacks on from your opponent's rear guard, just by using her skill with Black Wing. So for Sheluel, we're playing 3 of her. Okay. Next up, the grade 2, Howling Ballad, Fanel. Her skill is Auto, Black Wing. When this unit is placed in the rear guard circle, soul charge 1, and this unit gets boost until the end of the turn. So for Fanel, she's another good Black Wing ability for your Alestiel deck. Just by calling her while Black Wing is active, you can not only soul charge 1, but also she can boost in the back row. So Fanel can serve as a 10,000 power booster from the back row. For Fanel, we're playing 4 of her. Okay, and next up, the grade 1 lineup. For the grade 1s of this deck, we're playing the grade 1. Nope, not this one, sorry. Let's see, where's the grade 1? The grade 1. There we go. Grade 1, Indecisive Sky, Alestiel. Her skills are, first skill, Auto. When this unit is placed on the Vanguard circle, bind the top card of your deck. Second skill, White Wing, continuous as a Vanguard. When you would ride from your right deck, you may Soul Blast 1 instead of choose a card from your hand, discard it. And second skill, continuous, Black Wing as a Vanguard. All of your opponent's grade 1 or less rear guards cannot attack this unit. So for Alestiel, she's the main grade 1 to ride this deck. Her first skill, just by riding her, you can bind the top card of the deck, thus allowing you to activate either White Wings or Black Wings. Then her White Wing skill, by your next turn, you will not have to discard a card from your hand, but instead Soul Blast 1 to ride from your right deck, thus conserving your hand. And second skill, the Black Wing, Just as long as Blackwing is active, your opponent cannot attack your Vanguard Alestiel with any Grade 1 or less rear guards, thus reducing the number of attacks your opponents can make and securing your defense later on. So for Alestiel, we're playing 1 of her and putting it in the right deck. Next up, let's see, next up, the Grade 1. Unwelcoming in private Desiel, Sentinel, Perfect Guard, skills are, first skill, Continuous, Sentinel. You may only have up to 4 cards of Sentinel in your deck. Second skill, Auto. When this unit is put in the Guardian Circle, choose one of your units and it cannot be hit until the end of the battle. If your hand has 2 more cards, choose a card from your hand and discard it. So for Desiel, she's a Perfect Guard for the Lyrical Monasterio Nation. Like any other Perfect Guard in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game, she features the same skill and activation. Just by guarding her and discarding a card from her hand, an opponent's attack is completely blocked. But she also has an ability that's unique to all D standard format Perfect Guards. When you guard with her while having less than 2 cards in hand, you will not have to pay the discard 1 cost, making her a no-cost Perfect Guard in desperate last resort situations. So for Desiel, we're playing 4 of her. Okay. Next up, the Grade 0 lineup. For the Grade 0s in this deck, we're playing Grade 0, here it is. Right deck, Grade 0, Monochromic, Personality, Alestiel, Skill, Auto. When this unit is written upon, if you went second, draw a card. So for this Grade 0 Alestiel, she's the starting unit of this deck. Just by riding on top of her, if you went second, you get to draw a card. So for Alestiel, we're playing 1 and putting in the right deck. Next up, the Trigger lineup. For the triggers of this deck, we're playing, let's see, triggers, here we go, triggers, let's see. Okay, the Grade 0, Original Style, Elshuka, Critical Trigger, we're playing 3 of her. The Grade 0, Glutton Nora, Critical Trigger, we're playing 4 of her. And then, the Grade 0, Diligent Follower, Sigil, Draw Trigger, we're playing 4 of her. Then the Grade 0, Soft Light Pruel, Heal Trigger, we're playing 4 of her. And last but not least, the Grade 0, Blessing Diva, Grisaille, Over Trigger. Her skill is Trigger Additional Effect. During this fight, you get during your turn, all of your rear guards get plus 10,000 power. So for Grisaille, she's one of the over triggers for the Lyrical Monasterio Nation. Like any other over trigger in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game, she features the same skill and activation. When revealed during a drive check or damage check, you get 100 million power and draw a card. But she also has an ability that's unique to her. When revealed during a drive check on your turn, for the rest of the fight, during your turn, all your rear guards get plus 10,000 power. So for Grisaille, her best opportunity to use is when you reveal her during the drive check during your turn, and the earlier the better. Because the sooner you drive check Grisaille, you'll be able to give all your rear guards plus 10,000 power for the rest of the fight, making it a very powerful over trigger for the long game. So for Grisaille, we're playing 1, and there we go. All cards added. The deck is built. Card effects explained. So let's get to... Oops, sorry, I've got to put cards in the right deck. Here, here, and here. Okay. Alright, all saved up. And now save the deck. And now the deck has been explained. The deck's been built. Card effects explained. So let's get on to testing out the deck. But first, for the cards in this deck, we're playing 4, Grade 3, Archangel Twin Wings, Alestiel. 4, Grade 3, Incessant Vocal, Alkel. 4, Grade 2, Fleeting Longing, Farewell. 1, Grade 2, Shining As Is, Alestiel. 4, Grade 2, Heavenly Recital, Email. 4, Grade 2, Advent Stroke, Shadiel. 3, Grade 2, Flight to the Yonder, Shilwell. 4, Grade 2, Howling Ballad, Fadiel. 4, Grade 1, Unwelcoming in Private, Desiel. 1, Grade 1, Indecisive Sky, Alestiel. 1 grade 0 monochronic personality Alestiel, start a unit. And then the triggers of this deck we're playing 7 critical triggers, 4 draw triggers, 4 heal triggers, and finally 1 over trigger Grisaille. Already deck built, card effects explained. So let's get on testing out the deck. But before that, let's just name the deck. So change deck name, rename it Alestiel. So Alestiel, and dot Blackwing. So dot B. There we go. Alestiel B. Accept. Alright, deck name, now changing card sleeves, changing sleeves. For the card sleeves in this deck, we're playing the Alestiel sleeve as the right deck sleeve, press Y. And then for the main deck sleeve, we're playing Lyrical Monasterio flag sleeve as the main deck sleeve, press A, okay. So the deck has been built, card effects explained, and deck has been renamed and card sleeves changed. So let's get on to testing out the deck. So leaving the edit deck menu and going over to the fight menu and CPU fight. Now we choose an opponent. So for my opponent, gotta choose my deck first. Choose the Alestiel B deck. Choosing an opponent, I'm going to fight. Let's see, who should I fight? I guess I'll fight this is a tough choice. I guess I'll fight against for my opponent, I'm gonna fight against Doji Nakano, normal difficulty. Alright, the fight is getting started, so let's get to it. The fight begins, let's decide who goes first. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock the paper, I lose, going second, okay. Drawing starting hands. Okay, I'm going to return 1 draw trigger back, redraw, okay. Stand up the Vanguard, so my opponent's turn, he rides the Great One, Nigel, okay. My turn, I draw. I'm going to ride for my right deck, Indecisive Sky, Alestiel. I discard from my hand a critical trigger. Right, base skill, I'm gonna draw a card. Draw. And then my Vanguard skill, I bind the top card of my deck. It's a Grade 0, critical trigger, Blackwing's active, okay. So Blackwing is active. Next up, beginning battle phase. My Vanguard attacks the Vanguard, 8k. No guard, okay. Drive check, no trigger. The attack goes through, 1 damage. It is a no trigger, okay. Now it's my opponent's turn. He's going to ride the Great 2, Randor. Nigel's skill, he soul charges, okay, and calls a Great 2. Vanguard to Vanguard, okay. No. Then Randor's skill, he soul charges and power up, okay. No guard, take the hit. Drive check, no trigger, we're safe. 1 damage, damage check, no trigger. And rear guard to Vanguard, okay. No guard, take the hit. Out. Damage check. Draw trigger, yes! I draw a card and powered my Vanguard. The card I drew was a draw trigger, okay. Okay, now it's my turn. I stand and draw. I'm going to ride for my right deck, shining as is, Alestiel. I discard a draw trigger to the right deck cost. Ride Alestiel, Vanguard skill. I send a bind zone card to the bottom of my deck, and I bind another card, another critical trigger, Blackwing's active, okay. Then next up, I'm going to call, flight to the yonder Sheluel. Sheluel skill. Wait. Oh, not yet. So, okay. Next up, I'm going to call Fanael. Fanael skill. Soul Charge 1, and she can boost in the back row. And next up, I'm going to call... Let's see. I'm going to call MIL and beginning battle phase. So first up, my rear guard NIL attacks the Vanguard, 10k. No guard, okay. Damage check. No trigger, we're safe. Now it's my Vanguard to Vanguard, 10k. Drive check. No trigger. 1 damage. Damage check, it's a no trigger, we're safe. Eugene, okay. Now boosted by Fanael. Sheluel attacks the Vanguard. I activate. I'm going to activate Sheluel's skill, Counterblast, and then Soul Charge. Then I choose 1 rear guard. It cannot stand next turn. I choose the Grade 2 Scout Terra. He guards. Okay, but Scout Terror cannot stand next turn, so that's the end of my turn. My opponent's turn, he rides the Grade 3. Heavy Artillery Dust Storm, Eugene. Skill of Eugene, he's going to... No, he calls Grade 3, Burial Dignil, and activate his Vanguard skill to retire a rear guard and add power, alright. Now he's activating Eugene's skill, he's going to... Soul Blast 5 and Superior Call 2. Idris skill, he retires another rear guard, okay. Here comes another attack, okay. Alright. 10k to Vanguard, okay. I'm not gonna guard, take the hit. Ow! Damage check. Yes! Critical trigger! All fix the Vanguard. Now the rear guard cannot attack, so only the Vanguard can go in. Vanguard to Vanguard. Okay. No guard, take the hit. Drive check. Ah, heal trigger, no! Okay, and now... Second check, no trigger, alright. Here comes the Vanguard attack, 1 damage, so... Blasting away, and out. Damage check. No trigger. Okay. I'm going to guard with a heal trigger. Guard. 35k. And okay, the attack is blocked. My turn, I stand and draw. I'm going to ride for my right deck, Archangel of Twin Wings, Alestiel. I discard a MIL from my hand. I write Alestiel. Alestiel skill, bind the top card of my deck. White Wings activated. Yes, AKL. AKL skill. Both Black Wings and White Wings is activated. Okay. So my Vanguard gets plus critical and power, and all units in my opponent's field lose power. Alright. Next up, I'm going to call Remiel. And then move Fanael to the front. I call Advent Stroke Shedial. And I'm going to call Barrel. Barrel skill. Soul Blast 3 cards. I Soul Blast these 3. Okay. And activate her skill. I choose for every 2 even grades in my field, I choose 1 unit on my opponent's field and reduce power. So I have 4, so I can choose 2 units. I reduce the Vanguard and Scout Terra. Reduce. Scout Terra is out. Okay. Next up, I'm going to call a Kel to the rear guard. Alright, beginning battle phase. So first up, my rear guard, FNL attacks the Vanguard, 10k. No guard, okay. 1 damage. Here it comes. Ah, critical trigger, no! He adds power, alright. Alright, my Vanguard attacks the Vanguard, 18k. He guards with heal trigger, 2 triggers to pass, intercepts. Still, so it's 2 to pass, first check. Critical trigger, yes! I'm going to give all effects to my rear guard. And second check. No trigger. And okay, the attack is blocked. Next up, my rear guard attacks the Vanguard, 20k. 2 damage, here it comes. Bam, first check. No trigger, perfect guard, nice. Second check. Critical trigger, yes, wait to the trigger. Alrighty, so that's the end of my turn, my opponent's turn. Ah, he persona rides Eugene. He activates Eugene's skill to rest his cards and retire rear guard. He retires my front row, okay. Adding more power. He calls Frybash and Idris, okay. Idris' skill, he retires another rear guard, not good. Frybash attacks the Vanguard. No guard, take the hit. Ow! Damage check. Critical trigger, no! Wasted a trigger. Give all effects to Vanguard. Now Vanguard to Vanguard, okay. I perfect guard. And I discard. I activate my Vanguard, my perfect guard skill to discard a critical from my hand. Perfect guard. First check. Yes, critical trigger. He wasted a trigger. Second check. No trigger. Okay. The attack is blocked. Okay, now it's my Vanguard. My turn. I stand and draw. I activate my Vanguard skill. I send a card from my bind zone back to my hand and bind the top card of my deck. The top card I bind is a heal trigger. Black Wings active. Okay, I'm going to call to move Barrel to the front and call Fanael. Fanael skill. I soul charge and she can boost until the end of the turn. Next up, I'm going to call Elkel. And now, alright. Beginning battle phase, my Vanguard to Vanguard, 13k to 8k. He guards at 28k, so 2 to pass. First check. No trigger. And second check. No trigger. The attack does not go through. Okay, next up, my left side Fanel attacks the Vanguard. He guards with an over trigger. Yes, he doesn't have an over trigger in this deck, so the attack is blocked. Now the last attack. My Barrel boosted by Fanel attacks the Vanguard. 20k. Ah, perfect guard. No. And okay. The attack does not go through, so that's the end of my turn. My opponent's turn. He activates Eugene's skill. He rests 2 cards and retires the rear guard. Add power to his Vanguard. Okay. No guard. Take the hit. 1 rear guard out. Okay. Okay. Vanguard to Vanguard. I guard and intercept. 48k. No triggers to pass. Perfect. More or less full guard. He checks. Front trigger. Alright, he waits on the trigger. And second check. Critical trigger. Yes, he wastes another trigger. I make the right choice to completely block the attack. Okay, attack totally blocked. So now it's my turn. I stand and draw. I'm going to Persona Ride Alestiel. I draw a card, add power. Next up, my Vanguard skill. I'm going to send a card from my bind zone back to my hand and bind the top card of my deck. It's White Wings, Perfect Guard, critical added, okay. Next up, I'm going to move my... Let's see, I'm going to... Alright, I'm going to activate Shedile skill. Counterblast 1, move her to the soul. Plus 1 grade to my bind zone card. I plus grade of Desiel and Black Wings active. Next up, I'm going to call Shedile to the front row. Next up, I move Fanael to the front row. And I call Fanael to the left side. Fanael skill, Soul Charge, and she can boost in the back row. Okay, and then I'm going to call a draw trigger to the right side here. Okay, beginning battle phase, my Vanguard, 23k. He double guards, 2 to pass, okay. Twin drive, first check, no trigger. And second check, no trigger. Alright. The attack is blocked, and now boosted by Fanael, Shedile attacks the Vanguard, 28k. Will it go through? He guards my front trigger, okay. And intercepts. Attack totally blocked, okay. Last attack, my Fanael boosted by Seguel attacks the Vanguard, 25k. Here it comes. And the attack goes through, damage check, what will he get? Yes, critical trigger, he cannot heal, so 6 damage, I win. Alright, the game is over, winner me. I got some VP, win, perfect guarded, did a Persona Ride, 8 turns passed, retired 5 or more opposing units, bound 5 or more cards, drew 3 times in 1 turn, so I got a total of 1800 VP, total 8000 VP, press A to go next. And we're returning to the fight menu, leaving fight menu, back to main menu, and now going to edit deck menu. And so now I pretty much finished explaining the deck's build and card effects and tested out the deck in front of you. And so with that, that's just about all the time we have for today. So first off, I want to say thank you to the viewers watching today's video, and to please stay tuned for more videos I plan to upload again in the near future. I also hope you all show support by liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing to my videos and channel. And with that, I say goodbye and see you all soon.